you do next? What's the next steps for Prime?
So we don't have the money to fight the Swiss government-backed RUAG Amotech. That's a huge David and Goliath undertaking. I think we're going to have to fight, and it's a fight worth undertaking. It really is.
What is the difference? Why is Prime successful where a company like theirs is not, or has not been?
So just to clear one thing up a little bit, RUAG owns a bunch of brands in Europe, and one of them is Norma, right? They own Gecko, they own some other brands that haven't been very successful here in the United States. But to answer your question is that we have a totally different go-to-market strategy. Because of the way the internet works today, because of our ability to really have a one-on-one relationship with the end user, we've chosen to do that. We call every customer and say thank you. We introduce ourselves. We ask them a few questions. And RUAG is set up with their distribution in the United States. I like to call it the legacy distribution model, where they manufacture, they send it to a wholesaler, distributor, and then a retailer. So they do not know who their end customer is. And so we do. That gives us a huge advantage in terms of earning that relationship and then maintaining it. It also gives us a huge responsibility, because if we don't do a good job maintaining that relationship, we'll lose it. But once you have it, you can ask all sorts of questions, you can have direct communication with the customer base, and it's a way we chose to go to market. So we have thousands and thousands of customers where they may have a handful of distributors to provide or to craft a relationship with.
All right, Jim, what's the state of the business now?
Well, currently RUAG Amotech has all the ammunition that contractually they're supposed to provide to us, and they're not letting us sell it. And they have also, which was not part of our contract, made us pay 100% upfront for the 6mm Creedmoor and the 6.5 SAUM 4S. And so that's tied up all of our operating capital, and they are refusing to deliver that to us. So it's a very difficult situation for us. And so we're going to be asking the courts right away to reverse that as fast as possible. But we have many different suppliers that will provide us with components that we can have loaded. We have loaders that are ready to go to build products that are as good or better than what we have today at the same price. We just lack the capital. So when they sued us and they brought all these things together to stop our business, it was very effective. And very few people are willing to invest in a company that's being sued by a Swiss government-backed entity. I mean, it was a fairly ruthless and effective maneuver.
What's next? How will you proceed? Will you still work with RUAG, or will you try to get completely away from that? Have you thought about that?
I thought a lot about it, and as I said before, I haven't taken any of this personally. If they have, and it seems to me that in some regards they have, I haven't. So I'd be happy to continue working with them in conjunction with other suppliers. You know, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to make sure that the decisions we make going forward from a supply perspective always include more than one supplier. But we would welcome RUAG Amotech to be one of those suppliers.
If people want more information, if they have other questions, what do they do?
Send me an email. Everybody knows you can get a hold of me. Email is going to be the best. Phone's going to be really tough at this point. I anticipate getting a lot of phone calls. That's going to be very hard to manage. Email is going to be best. I will respond to every single one of them. Jim@primeammo.com. Jim@primeammo.com. If you have a question, send it to me directly.